What's up, Divesh? Nice to finally speak to you, or I guess we're not meeting each other, but I'm sure I've talked to Payal a million times. Good friend of mine, amazing person. So first, I just want to say that you have an awesome wife, and she has an awesome husband. It's actually shown in her chart. I don't know if you saw her reading, but she has Jupiter, the planet of luck, in the house of marriage. So that's speaking to you, my man. All right, let's dive right in. So just a little bit of info of how I've been doing my readings lately is that I'll go back and forth between being on and off camera. I prefer lately. I've been really in like the flow 'cause I have a lot of readings, and I've noticed that like I have like crystals and all this and stuff I do, like I'll like meditate or walk around, and basically like I'll be on a lot of the reading I'll be on present mode where I'm just showing your chart. So it might not make sense to you, but I pop my face in. It just depends on the reading. So let me get the clock started. I'm starting here at 4:42 a.m. A little bit late for me, but I mean that's not really late for me. I'm trying to change my habits, but you know, when work calls, work calls. This is like my most productive hour, like 3 and 5 for readings. So really trying to finish up the July, the ones purchased in July, and I think after years there's one more. Yeah, right. I think one. Yeah, be one more. Um, so cool, cool, cool. All right. So let me kind of just get, okay, this is already, I have your initials. So let's share screen. You guys with your Indian names. I just don't like, I don't know. Some people care, some people like, I wouldn't personally really care, but I don't know. I always use first names, and if it's like a name that's like uncommon in like the English or like kind of, Western world, if you want to call it that, I'll use initials, or like with people who just want me to use initials, I'll use initials. I'll probably start using initials more and more. Some names, like if it's like Kate, it's just like, I have like a million followers named Kate. You know what I mean? So it's just like whatever. Okay, so let's dive in. I think I'm gonna reposition myself actually. We're in full charge here. So I'm gonna go over here on my beanbag and just be in the most chill position. Um, but you, my friend, I've been doing that, are a Pisces moon and sun in Scorpio. Wow. Speak of a intuitive and creative, compassionate person. And the sun's in the 12th house and ascendant's in Sag. So we would 1000% get along. Like it's undebatable. Like 1000%. There's like I'm a Pisces myself, so when you like meet someone like any kind of regardless of the type of relationship, like if the person has the same sun as your moon or moon is your sun, it creates a real ease, and it's also really good for this kind of work. So excited about that. So yeah, let's get to it. Basically the sun. So I'm not sure where you're at with your knowledge of astrology. But basically, the sun in astrology and the moon and the ascendant are what's called the big three. The sun represents kind of the core essence of who you are. Everyone knows their sun sign. You're a Scorpio. But just as important, if not more, is the moon. The moon, so it's kind of like a yin yang, right? The moon rules more of like like the emotional side, the instincts, like what, like kind of like under the surface. If it's like an egg, the sun is like the sun is like the okay, no, 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 no. The ascendant is the shell. It's kind of like the mask, the personality you wear. the moon or the sun is like the white. I'm totally butchering this. And then the moon is that yoke, that middle part that can be a little bit harder to understand in ourselves. But it actually runs the show. You see? So yeah, in essence, like just very, very, very like obvious kind of, big picture stuff, being having your sun and moon both in the same element, which is water. The water signs are Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. So just that alone, like having them in there, it means that they're like, if you were like, I always give the metaphor, like if you were a boat or a ship or a vessel of any sort, you'd be headed in like, one direction. You're not like all over the place. Like you are kind of who you are. There's not like this big conflict between the feminine and the masculine part of you, which is obviously an asset. Now, being a male with a Pisces moon, I wrote an article about this. I don't know if you follow my Instagram or not. I don't think you do. Actually, maybe you do. I don't have no fucking idea. But I wrote actually an article that was, I forget that it was titled something like the difficulty. I'm just one second. I'm like doing a reading while I'm like doing some home stuff, but I have to turn this machine on. The difficulty, like in like in modern, like kind of like in the modern day for a man to have a Scorpio moon or a Capricorn moon. So you have a Scorpio moon, or excuse me, no, I said Capricorn moon, Scorpio moon. Those are like my main emphasis, but I said also like a Pisces or Cancer moon because these are more feminine energies, right? So like so being a Scorpio in the 12th house, like that houses in astrology, just don't really worry about it. Payal can like explain more of it to you. Mika, move. That's my cat. Basically like it's like where the planet falls, right? Like each house is kind of like is kind of tied to a sign in a sense, right? So your Pisces moon and then your Scorpio sun falls in the 12th house of Pisces. So you have a lot of Piscean energy. So you're definitely like a very, very intuitive, in touch with like, like you'd be the kind of person like where meditation would be very, very, very valuable, where you'd be able to gain a lot through um these any type of spiritual practice, even like something like astrology. You'll have like an intuitive, typically, an intuitive understanding of it, and you can really, really benefit from that. So it's interesting, knowing Payal, and I just did her chart the other day for the second time, that you have this energy that's kind of, and I'm doing your chart, but like I know her, so I'm gonna probably say some things that like will kind of make sense, even though you guys need like a compatibility reading. I'm just like, if I see something obvious, I'm gonna say it. So like what's interesting is like, a lot of her chart is based, karmically, like she's really trying to be pushed to like take risks, right? Like kind of like risks around like transformation and kind of getting out of like you know the known, if you want to call it that, and moving more towards the unknown on like an emotional level, which might sound, yeah, I'm not gonna, I honestly, like when I do a reading, even if it's someone I know very well, like I literally like don't remember shit. Like I've probably done like what, 2 or 3 readings since hers, maybe less. But the point is that I'm just grabbing something. Like as a Scorpio, you have that zodiac sign for a reason. Like there's a reason we have the signs we have. And it's because in this lifetime, and I'm a karmic astrologer, so everything I do is like, or not everything, but like, I take uh, I look at things from a place of like reincarnation and soul growth over lifetimes, stuff like that. Just so you know. But like, I don't think that'll be an issue. I feel like I don't know. Like if it for like when for people who don't resonate with that, I just tell them like it's like it can also just be applied to, like, I also take a very psychological approach, and he can be applied to um psychology, and just like the childhood, which I also talk about. But yeah, so overall, I don't like I haven't like talked like that much. I mean, I know about you, but like I'm like a little bit, but I'm like blanking out the information, like because I try to do everything in a very objective manner. Where usually like I don't know anything about them, about the client, right? I don't look at any of their profile photos, like their Instagram photos. Like I purposely do that because I want to have the broken glass from this like shattering, like this bottle of sparkling water just shattered. It happens way too often. This shitty fridge. You need a new one, a mini fridge. But anyways, so yeah, that's kind of one way to look at it. But anyways, okay, so to not take 50 hours of the reading, let's get straight to the punch. So a Scorpio sun in the 12th house is someone who definitely will need like a certain level of alone time. They might feel at times in their life like kind of secluded, or kind of like they need space to kind of recharge. Um, and Scorpio as an energy is all about death, rebirth, and transformation, right? So it's all about kind of questioning everything, and taking what I call like spiritual slash emotional risks, right? Um, so that's like why you guys are very like karmic partners, because her as a Taurus moon, her sun is Cancer, which by the way is a very good mix to have the same element as your guys' sun signs. Like my girlfriend is a Scorpio. I'm a Pisces. That's both water, and you and Pyle are Scorpio and Cancer. So it's like literally like very similar for the sun sign. And then the moon sign, your moon in Pisces, it's sextiles, meaning it has a positive relationship with her moon in Taurus. And I'm not going to go so far into like the synastry. That's like a totally different reading. You guys are welcome to do that if you want. I would give you guys an amazing price. But yeah, one moment. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Esme, stop, go away. So basically, you have a lot going on in the 12th house, which is this very mystical place. So like right off the bat, like when you have a lot going on in the 12th house, there's different ways it can go, right? Because you have your Mercury there, Mars, and Pluto, mainly, yeah. So your life is very like, I don't know how spiritual you are. And when I say spiritual, like people can have their own versions of it. There's not like one size fits all. Like different people have different ways of connecting and feeling connected, but that's a huge thing for you. In fact, I'm drinking my can of water, hoping that there's no fucking sharded glass, because all that glass shattered all over everything in my fridge. That would not be great if I just took a sip and I was like, oh shit, I'm about to bleed out during this reading. You'd be my last reading. That would be not good. Um, so yeah. So what can happen when you have a lot of 12th house, right? And just try to stick with me. I'm gonna give this to you like just like kind of a download. I'm not gonna confuse you or anything. Um, it can be like there's a big need to be of service, right, in your life. And you have a Virgo midheaven. Don't worry about like that's kind of like career. So like Dharma, right? So in some way, like one of the best things for you to do, and I don't know, I forget what you do for a living on purpose. Like I kind of like I don't want to know these things, right? I don't because it kind of I don't. It's not like it's like cheating. I just like to kind of like give like a very objective um reading. So but like being of service, I'm not saying like I'm not saying like quit your day job and start doing charity nonstop. But when you have a lot of 12th house, it can be the house of repressed energies. Um and the whole psychological thing is or behind it is that basically they're weak energies when one is young. They're like not weak, more like raw, right? And they can become superpowers, but the way they become superpowers is when one connects to spirit, deepens themselves spiritually, like does all like the shadow work that they're meant to do, which like I said, it's different for everyone, what form, how it looks, what form it takes. But yeah, basically just like kind of taking a really honest look at oneself, the good and the bad. And in your case, being a Scorpio sun, you'd be someone who most likely, has and continues to go through these eras in your life that are very, very distinctly different. Like it's like all about death, rebirth, transformation, right? That's like the whole thing with Scorpio. Now, sometimes Scorpio can be very like it's of every sign, it's the one that has the most like potential negative, like the biggest gap between like the low vibe, because everything here, I'm telling you, I'm not a fortune teller. Like I'm giving you like it's all based on probabilities. Like it's like if like life was a game of cards, and I'm telling you what cards, your karmic cards and the cards that you have dealt basically, right? Or that were dealt to you. And then it's your free will. Like two people can have the exact same chart and one manifests the complete low energy of it while one manifests the high energy of it. So it's all up to free will. If free will interplay with the chart. So with that said, with the sun in this position, a lot of times that speaks to a mother. It's close to ascendant, but it's not there. It usually speaks to like a mother who is like maybe not so present. Oftentimes in moon is unaspected. So wait, no, what am I talking about? Father that was not very present. Because the son, like whoever the more dominant masculine parent was. And basically, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, so basically like regardless of anything, you are someone who is gonna have like this level of depth, of innate depth, and you might not even notice it. Like it might be something that like it's so obvious to you, but very like pure soul, right? Now, one thing, with being like yeah, I was talking about like the 12th house, like a lot of times it talks about like a father that didn't really meet the needs. Maybe yeah, like he wasn't around or something happened, or you know, or just like basically, you know, some karma with the father most likely. Is there any square? No. Yeah, this exactly. Wow, I called that. literally there's a square you see right here with the south node, which rules past lives, and the sun. So yeah, there's definitely some tough karma with the father. And I know nothing about your father or any of your family. I mean, Payal, I've learned, I know some stuff from her, but it's more her perspective, right? Um, Now I want to tell you that like in astrology, it's like mostly the sun represents the dad, the moon represents the mom, in that sense. But like there's some charts like my own, like where my mom was like the one who played the more active role in my life, and she actually represents the sun, while my dad is more of the moon. Um, but yeah, so basically that's kind of how that would play out. But there's not really any difficult aspects to it. So it there is just that conjunction with Pluto. So it could have been like an over interfering father, um, something along those lines, right? And yeah, what can happen is that it can make someone yeah, it just creates an energy where the father might be over interfering. Like Pluto is all about power, so it creates like this real, like, especially Scorpio, like it's very 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 much about power. So it can create this and it does create this energy, this theme of power versus powerlessness, and the person sometimes goes between the two, right? Like goes back and forth between experiencing kind of these two polarities in their life, right? Um, Now what's important is that the whole, like, one of the big points of your chart is there's like I said, there's a massive, like, I have these posts on my Instagram like signs of like a very intuitive person or a very mystical person, and like you have like a ton of them, right? Mars and Scorpio, it's super super strong. um and wait, hold on, I just need to like triple check because she said 8:29. I need to triple check the birth time. 8:29 Toronto. Yeah, we got it. Okay. So yeah, basically, like, yeah, when you have Pluto conjunct Sun and then Mercury's there too, it's like it's a stellium, and all three of them together, it's like, damn. Well, first of all, it creates someone who's extremely powerful, but they might not, like, it might take them a while. You're born in 89, so you've gone past your Saturn return, but it might take them a while for them to fully uncover that power, right? And when I say power, I'm not saying like, you know, like a politician. Like it could, like, it could be like that. But really like more like personal power, spiritual power, leadership, stuff like that. So but what can happen is that, if the father was just like, if there's like kind of like a very dark, shadowy relationship with the father, and the father was holding on to like lots of like kind of like toxic, is or was whatever. Yeah, I don't know why I say was. Like it, was because I'm kind of referring like to childhood. Holding on, was slash is holding on to like lots of like kind of toxic like cycles that maybe have run the family for a long time. Um, there can be this like confusing point, especially as a Pisces moon, right? Because Pisces moon, the moon is, like I said, it's like what it's like kind of the unconscious, right? So Pisces moons, they literally need to spend a lot of time alone because they're sponges of energy. So it's super super important for you to like really 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 dial down who you spend time with and what environments you spend time in. um but Yeah, and what I see is that potentially, if this is your father, whatever parent this is, that there's the need for a deep examination of like what, if anything, are you holding on, that's not yours, like psychologically, right? Because a lot of times we can adapt kind of some of our parents' own like dysfunctional behaviors and tendencies unconsciously. So with someone like this, you know, like a Pisces moon is someone who's very like it's very chameleon-like, and they can be very like, especially as a kid, very easily influenced. So it's important not just like with parents, but with anyone to really like look and understand like, okay, how like one of the best exercises I tell people about Pisces moons is like, you know, when you're with someone or you're in an environment, um and just like really it's really important to get in touch with your body, right? Like with your intuition and your body, and you can feel it in your body, right? So like you know, you can Pyle can probably has, I don't know where you're at with like spiritual learning and whatnot, but she can teach you about like kind of like energy leakage if you don't know, and just like how like when you're around people who are more you know, like kind of energy vampires, and a lot of them don't mean it. And you're lucky you have a wife who's literally like the opposite. Like she's like a complete energy, like just revamper. I don't know how else to say it. Like she's like every time I talk to her, I feel like more energy than when than I had before, which a lot of times is very rare. So yeah, but in essence, like you know, you're very sensitive, and sometimes people, men, and this is kind of going back to the article, is that men who have these types of placements will deny these parts of themselves. Um, so it's very important, you know, to be vulnerable, to express, like, you know, because like also having a Pisces moon is like extremely creative, you know. It makes you like have this like real, just like innate love and understanding for the arts and for anything that's like more esoteric, and like like even like this reading, like, you know, might like some people like have like all these blocks in front of them that when we speak about I say God, but just the divine, whatever you want to call it, right? And I don't know your beliefs or whatever, but like, you know, Scorpios can be the most spiritual people, or they can be like, sometimes I feel like I call it like unnatural skeptics. It's like um but they are so connected, you know. It's like a very magical, obvious, like zodiac sign to have. But like, you know, sometimes men, as I said, I'll re-say, like hold that part of themselves back. So it's really important to like be authentic in that sense, in every sense. And yeah, really important to kind of like admit, I don't want to say like your feminine side, but like, yeah, the part of you that's more emotional and more empathetic, because it's really like it's a huge part of you. And it doesn't make like one misconception when I say this is that it doesn't make one a feminine person, right? In the sense of like, it just means that you're in touch with unconscious forces, basically, right? And like the quote unquote other side, there's not much of a distance between you and it. So um you know, like for example, like let's say you like were wanting to really get into like something like some type of spirituality, and you might already be here, so I have no idea. um it wouldn't be so hard for you. Like it would be a natural flow. Like it would just like you would just kind of understand things um naturally. And you know, it's a very special thing to be able to be like that. um but yeah, so the thing with that stellium is very interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen a Mercury Pluto Scorpio stellium, but especially in the 12th house. But like yeah, like I said, like the 12th house, the house of repressed energies, it's really demanding for you to go deep, like deep within your own soul and search, and because like people can like really repress a lot of parts of themselves that have this. But with that said, when they've done that, like all these can become mega strengths. And when you like regardless of that, when you put Mercury and Pluto together, it makes someone who is a very is Mercury retrograde? No, it's in the 12th house, so that can, and it's, let's see, yeah, it trines Jupiter, so like very gifted communicator you are, someone who can really influence people in a positive way through their communications. And you're definitely a very philosophical person too. You have Jupiter, in Cancer in the 8th house retrograde. So like you have this like very inward, um, kind of like I feel like you're like you might be the kind of person who's like super, super like introspective and philosophical, but you might not like voice it all the time. It might be more of like an internal thing. But I think the way you see life is very much like not probably not so far from the way I see it. And obviously I know your wife very well. So I don't think you guys would be together if your guys' worldview and all that was so different. So yeah. Um that aside, just that all that energy in Scorpio is just like it can be a lot, right? So, maybe earlier in life, like there could have been some adverse like situations. I was gonna not like necessarily like bullying, but like maybe just feeling like like kind of undefined, right? Like especially as a Pisces moon, I feel like it really like was a big process for you to define who you are. And you may have like gone through like I said before, like lots of like really fucking crazy intense phases. Like I have the same thing with my 8th house sun in Pisces, right? Where it's like you almost feel like you at that time was like an actor. Like that's how much the changes have been. Um and with that same Jupiter, I was just talking about in the 8th house, which is once again another. If you follow me on Instagram at Jesse and Astro, like I have literally a post that's like most psychic, or it's like most. I think I re-released it like yesterday, right? It's like most like intuitive placements, right? I'm gonna check, and I swear, and I did a part 1 and a part 2. Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, it was the one I did yesterday. So, like literally the first one was Jupiter in the 8th or 12th house. And you have in the 8th house, and I wrote, it makes everything bigger and gives perspective and luck in whatever house it's in. So if you have it here, huge like potential for intuitive abilities. You can read people very very easily, especially if it's in a water sign like Cancer. Natural psychologist, the ability to probe deep into the secrets and taboo areas of life. So it could also make you like very like just like have like a natural ability to just like go into the areas of life that other people are afraid of. It's like a mystical like flashlight. I just made that up. That sounds cool. It makes sense. Um they're usually very dark areas that scare most people, but the 8th house Jupiter person almost has this flashlight to navigate these hidden realms. That's how I said before. Let's see what else we have. The next one I wrote is Moon in the 8th or 12th, or also the Moon in Pisces or Scorpio. There you go. So you already have 2 for 2. I said this gives the ability to have one's feelings, the moon, act as a sort of satellite where one is able to feel the energy of the people around them and even tap into the collective unconscious. These are extremely sensitive people who can also become very overwhelmed. Super important. I'm happy I'm reading this by the intensity of their picking up on the energy around them. It can be difficult when starting life, but if they ground themselves spiritual, like by starting to meditate, they can quite literally become psychic. And it is common for them to out of nowhere just know things about people, like the world, higher spiritual wisdom, and so much more. Okay. I must also add that many people who have these types of placements do not recognize them. So this is the big thing. They don't recognize them because it's so obvious to you, but it's like people don't have this stuff. Trust me, like it's very, very special to have this. And sometimes like I was talking to my therapist the other day about like how I have this tendency to project. One sec. I guess you could call it like the talents or like the things that I have that like aren't very common. Like sometimes I'll like project, like for example, like just like seeing through the BS of like the mainstream media, like stuff like that. It's a random example. And like the very obvious agenda. Like it's like there's like proof. It's like so obvious. Like I like just a random example or something like astrology, like whatever. Like I'll project like my own like this is so obvious to me, or this is so easy to me that it's like that for everyone. So and it's the same thing with like skills, like empathy and compassion, all these things I'm talking on intuition, where you think other people have it but they don't. So I wrote, yeah, so many of these people do not recognize them and sometimes get branded as crazy, in quotes. And since they're so sensitive, they may internalize it. Very sad. The double-edged sword here is where the positive side is that one can reach high levels of spirituality and unconditional love through relationships, and the negative is a rather wide spectrum of deception and self-deception. Literally, you have like every single one. But like, I want to speak further about this deception and self-deception. So being a Pisces moon, and it's very, very good that you have the wife you do. Because you so I'm not gonna like go into like I'll talk about like the like kind of like with the relationship stuff. I do that for every reading, but like one sec, drinking a pop cola. So it's called. It's a really good brand of botanical cola from here. It's like so good. I think I like it more than Coca-Cola. Anyways, yeah, so like there's this whole like I told you like how it was probably like difficult for you to like truly see yourself when you're like growing up and stuff. Um so like that's a lifelong process, but like the self-delusion and delusion can come out in relationships of all sorts. So you really have to be careful of like who you trust. Um get like a second opinion, like like let's say like you're in business, right? Um like you're gonna like enter business with a business partner, and if you're not single, but if you were like with dating, like definitely good to get like a second opinion of the person, of the business partner, from someone else, from someone like who's like who you consider like, not that you're unstable, but someone who you consider as a very consistent like logical person, because you're more right brain, right? um and then yeah, like so there's definitely this tendency of people with these types of placements to fool themselves in all kinds of different situations. You have to totally watch out for energy vampires, and because they'll pick up on your goodwill, your natural kind of like empathetic nature, and then take advantage of it. So that's very, very important at work, any place. But then you have this really brilliant mind, um and brilliant communication ability to communicate, but it might be something that's repressed or hidden. So that's like doing acts of charity, like selfless acts, is literally the best way to kind of like repair that, I guess you could say, or like kind of like the 12th house gets like mended by being of service to humanity. So if you can find ways to do that in your life, like it literally like fixes everything. Or just like spirituality, things like meditating, like prayer, journaling, like just connecting deeper to your inner self is like the most, is so important. And where's your north node? I haven't looked at your north node yet. In Aquarius, like mine. Interesting. um that's like north node is like kind of like where you're really trying to get in this lifetime. Like it's kind of like the mountain never climbed in past lives, right? Yeah, you're born a year before me, so it makes sense. But basically, with with Northern Aquarius, it just speaks further to like this need to be a service and to like do things for the we instead of the I in this lifetime. And also to like, have friendships that are really, really based off of authenticity and that don't like condition you into some bullshit, to have like real friendships and real communications. Like authentic, like really, really keeping it real, like no bullshit, because you do have your Mars and Scorpio, right? And that was another one on my list. Like that's like the ultimate like bullshit sensor. Like no one could fucking lie to you. You know what I mean? Like it's impossible. Like I mean, I guess the Pisces moon can be a little bit deceptive, but once you get past that, like Mars and Scorpio is just like the spiritual warrior. Like you cannot get anything fucking past them. Like and they're so empathetic. They stand up for people that, for like the causes they believe in. They fight for the underdog. And it's a very, very strong placement. And also it's really like it's like the natural psychologist. It's a person who, regardless, it can be really, really good in business too, because it gives them this dynamic power to just see through the BS and really know. So like if you're an entrepreneur, for example, obviously you have to hire people. You will know just by looking at someone once, of course, a big part of it is like, like, trusting your intuition, right? Which is not easy. But once you start doing that and realizing like, shit, like I'm usually goddamn right. Then everything opens up, literally everything. And you realize, wow, I had the superpower. But yeah, like with all those three together, they all fuse with each other. So the sun, well, Mercury fusing with Pluto means that like you're someone that when you get interested in something, you can just go all in, like get so like research, just like when it comes to intelligence, just like this like there's like this ball of energy that you can just go into this extra resource, right? That you can just go like so deep into anything. It's in Scorpio already, so it's like already on its own. It like just without Pluto it would have been like that, but with Pluto, it's like just like just someone whose mind can just probe so deep into whatever subject. Um, and the Mars and Scorpio makes even more. And then the effect that that has on the sun. I mean your sun is combust, so sun and Mercury, combustion. So it's just barely that. Um, but what that means is that you can sometimes lack. It can make someone lack objectivity, be a little bit like dogmatic in their opinion, a little bit rigid. So you gotta watch out for that. But you're a Sag rising, which we'll talk about soon. Um, which encourage makes one usually very adventurous, very open minded. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think like it's kind of interesting because like I feel like so like you're a 12th house person. I would watch this video on YouTube. You can search Honey Astro 12th house, and because you are a 12th house person. And another big thing about the 12th house is that they can be very behind the scenes esque, like they prefer sometimes to kind of, and not like in a bad way. Like there's like a lot of like very, very like famous or like successful like literally the people who run the world, like that's Pluto energy, that's behind the scenes people, you know what I mean? Not that they're good people or anything, but like you know like they'd rather just be behind the scenes. um and a lot of times, they can like work in like 12 house people can like work in like different institutions, like hospitals and like insane asylums, places that are kind of like, yeah, like that kind of energy. But it's not like in this, like I'm not saying that that's my prediction of what you do for work, which I know Payal's definitely fucking told me, but I just forget everything. So a stupid person, just joking. Um, but yeah. Um, 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 um So yeah, so much energy. So the sun connecting to all that, it means that like um probing deep into like just like the mysteries of life is like such a huge thing for you. And but also like I said, like probing deep into yourself. And it's like double powered. So when you actually really fully start that, like you have the ability to like literally through your meditations, through whatever spiritual work you do, like it's like you have like such a head start. And you can like if you're doing like any kind of like shamanic thing, for example, just random example, and I have no idea, like you might be like completely anti that. Like I noticed a lot of Scorpio males sometimes are just like really like non-spiritual, you know, and they're like they can like be like atheists, but then like they just like shift, you know, and they have like phases, you know, and then they just shift and then they become like extremely spiritual. But yeah, like the sun connected to that, like so yeah, it's just like I would ask like what you know what of yourself, like is there anything when I talk about like you know the house of repressed energies, that whole thing, like is there anything that comes up, you know, of like what you might be repressing or like something like that, you know, might kind of be there but isn't, that kind of thing, you know, behind like really behind the closed doors or in the kind of like closet, the closed closet of the unconscious. So it's really asking you to like dive deep into that. Um, so yeah, they connect really well. The moon in the fourth house in Pisces, you know, makes you like really like love home and unaspected moon. Um, let me go on camera for a bit. Gosh, nice angle, dude. Um, I'm trying to look for something. How is so your moon? What degree is it at? 25? There's no way it's unaspected. No, it's definitely not unaspected. I mean, I would count that as obviously. Why does it not say it's trying your sun, duh. Even Mercury, just 10-degree orbs, even Pluto. I need to really I wish I needed to figure out how to fucking change that. And I'm on my program. And you have a grand trine, which I need to share again to show you this. It's like grand trines are all about like natural like massive talents. So it's like moon here, you see 25 degrees Pisces, um Chiron 16 degrees Cancer, and sun 17 degrees you know, Scorpio slash sun slash Mercury. But like I think sun would be the one that counts because like the moon's kind of a little bit like 25. It's not like exactly, but still, the whole point is that there, and you have a grand trine in the water houses. Like that's fucking nuts. Um, Camera just fell. So that's very like this is like one of the more mystical like mist like potent like mist like mystical like potential like just potential charts I've seen like in a really long time. Wow. So regardless of whether you know follow anything spiritual, like this is who like like it's just so embodied in you, like it's just like you know it's just you know it's it doesn't define you, but it's just something that comes very easily to you and that you know is a big part of you. So it's definitely a great thing to embrace that, you know, and know you have these talents now. um you have a lot of water, obviously, and the Grand Trine's in the water houses. So like literally like everything like full. You see how the water bar is like nearly at the maximum. So yeah, just like you definitely need to to learn to really so yeah, like with that, the big goals are with Pisces, it's like being able to see yourself clearly, being able to create boundaries, because it can be really difficult to create boundaries with people. Because Pisces, everything kind of melts in, right? So boundaries, like everything feels boundless because it's like the most spiritual sign. It's the last sign, right? You have a ton of it, like, Pisces / 12th house, which are like similar thing, right? Like this first house is Aries, second house Taurus, third house Gemini, fourth house Cancer. It's like not exactly the same thing, but it goes around and then the Pisces, which is the 12th last sign in 12th house. So you see how, you have all the Scorpio in the house of Pisces, and then, this is the house of Cancer. So it's like so much water. Now, when I said you might lack objectivity, you definitely do, because you have no air in your chart. So what's interesting is when you have a lot of water but lack air, you know, air is about like ideas, communication. So you might be like you might be quite shy. I imagine you being like super fucking knowledgeable and super smart, but like still not, maybe this is why, like, yeah, like when we do, I hope you're there for the follow-up with Payal. Um, I mean, no pressure or anything, but I'm curious to know about this. And definitely write this one down if you're taking notes or anything, which most people do. Most people watch this video like several times before follow up. But like, yeah, curious to know if you're like a shy person, because Sag risings typically are not shy. But yeah, there's lots of energy that, like with water, it can tend to kind of like not see itself clearly. Have like it has to like learn to kind of set values. Like it's like you have to, like, in astrology, and this like, I'm completely self-taught, by the way, so everything I say is like it's from my own experience, from my own kind of teaching myself astrology. But basically it's like one of the things is borrowing from the opposite sign, because the opposite sign of Pisces is Virgo, and it's the same. It's basically like the same energy, but an opposite manifestation. That makes sense. Don't worry about like totally understanding it. But basically, what that means is that by doing things like organizing your life, having your routine set, like whether it's like for mental health, spiritual health, um every kind of like everything, right? Like having a routine is extremely important for you, right? And also because you could be like the biggest daydreamer and have all these amazing creative ideas, or just ideas in general, but sometimes people who are water heavy lack like the kind of firepower, which you do have a fire ascendant, so that's going to help you, but like to like really put it into fruition. So just like understanding like that, that there's a really massive step-by-step process to get to anything. I don't feel like that's like something that's like really like a issue for you, um but like it's important to say that, like, Virgos are on top of shit, and Pisces, people who have lots of Pisces can tend to kind of just like have all these locked ideas, but just like really lack structure in their life. Um, so yeah, just knowing about that is like the first step to kind of healing it. And then with Scorpio, right? That's where your wife comes in, because her moon, right, is your opposite sign, so she's very, very grounding to you. She really, really grounds you, and it's invaluable. And I have to like do a full compatibility reading to really like see your guys' like composite chart, which is like there's like a new chart that's like created out of your guys's bond, out of any two people's. So Yeah, but like, there's definitely an energy where she is very, very healing to you, and you are very, very healing to her, and you really, your Scorpioness really encourages her because that's really where she's trying to get. And your Pisces also, because her North Node, which is like where she's trying to like get in this lifetime, like spiritually, is exactly your moon. So without even doing anything or knowing anything, you're like literally like soulmates. Like you're literally like um totally fucking helping her in her soul growth without just by being yourself. Isn't that kind of cool? Just by being you. The thing I love about Pisces moons is that they're like 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 they're just, unless they have like a ton of trauma or something like that, they typically are just like really, really sweet, kind of innocent people. But of course Scorpios can be very uninnocent, but just Pisces men in general, they're so imaginative, they're so abstract. Regardless of like if they're musicians or artists or not, like they can connect to it on a super, super deep level. Um, and that's like a massive asset that might be another one of those things that comes so naturally to you, but not everyone has at your level. But yeah, overall, just like lacking water is just, the idea behind it is just like, or not lacking water, having so much water is like watching out for self-deception, like nailing down who you are. That's like the Pisces, right? Like having the organization, that's like about lacking earth. Um, and then with Scorpio, it's about like, okay, the opposite side of Scorpio is Taurus. Taurus is about stability. So it's kind of the same principle, right? Um, like being balanced, being grounded, doing all you can to like with routine and practice and this, that, and the third, like find like kind of stable roots in your life, right? Like in family and stuff, and things of that nature are exactly that, right? Um, if you're not like it's extremely like it would be such a waste, a sad waste if you weren't someone who had like a creative outlet or like anything, like even if it's like a book of poetry or like a journal or like anything that you have to show anyone, right? Because your North Node is in the third house. So you're actually really meant to learn like the big philosophy stuff, philosophical like outlook stuff, that comes super natural to you, right? Um, you've always been that way. You've always been seeking, seeking the truth from within and from without, from within yourself, and also through like experiences as a Sag rising. You seek to meet people from different cultures, or people who have different worldviews, different philosophies of life, and it's about like life is like one big adventure, right? But then um the other energy, North Node, right, which is like the metaphoric mountain never climbed in past lives in the third house, is saying, hey, like you are supposed to be like it's time for you to like to find to really like dial down your communication. And a lot of that has to also do with boundaries, right? So in a past life, your past life tendency with the square of Mercury is maybe not like speaking up for yourself potentially, or it could either be that or the opposite, or over speaking, right? Because there's a square. um and then the sun's also square. So um there's this really huge like kind of like the archetype, like the hero's journey. Like when you have sun square, the node, the skip step is, it's kind of like not like a do-over, but the lifetime, like there's really like a key element in this life that you're really trying to nail down. And it could have been like a very, very hard task, like that you didn't fully realize in like a previous incarnation, the one you're dealing one or ones you're dealing with in this lifetime. Because we don't deal with all our karma in one lifetime, you know. I mean, that's what I believe, and I think different philosophies, mostly Buddhist philosophies, I believe that. That's kind of what I feel, but I don't know that, so I can't say know it. But like, you know, that's what I feel. And yeah, I definitely think that, like, you know, finding your voice is like a huge thing for you. Finding your authentic voice, even if it doesn't necessarily fit in with, like, you know, like, trust me, dude, like, I was literally like in a frat. Like, I was like, I'm like a very like, I watch like NBA, like, I listen to electronic music and hip hop. Like, I'm a very like, you know, I'm like a normal, like, you meet me, like, you know, I don't see, I'm like the least like astrologer you'll ever meet. Like, literally, there's no one I've ever seen who's like me, who's doing astrology. I just love it, you know. But like, just because I like doing something and I'm good at it to the point where I get paid for doing it. Um, does that mean I have to fucking wear a fucking robe and look like a, you know, like, you know, I don't know, like, wear, you know, just like conform to that. So, so yeah, like, really finding your own voice and finding your own authenticity. You know, I think with this, with the square of the sun, like, you were like, your identity was kind of like stolen in a past life, in a sense, right? Like you were, maybe you, like, with the South known Leo, like, I know this is gonna sound cliche, but like, maybe you were some type of like royalty, you know, where you had a very privileged life. And because of that, you know how like princes and shit, like, royal family kind of has to conform to norms, like, you know, so they can't really like individuate. So in this life, you know, you're having to kind of go through that process. It's very, very important for you to like be very, very free in your, like, and have friends that match you on like a very like soul level, and then like really communicate your truth. And it's almost like asking you to like be a journalist, you know, and like just like have like lots, like speak a lot, like not like not but stuff of substance, you know, not BS, which you're impossible is impossible for you to speak BS. I mean, with that, with your Scorpio Sun conjunct Pluto and Mercury, like, literally you are someone who's just, it's impossible for you to have small talk. Like, I mean, not impossible, you can do it, but like, fuck, like, it just doesn't really work with you. Like, there's no way someone with that can do that. Okay, moving forward. So what's really interesting is that you don't have any difficult aspects. Um, between, so a difficult aspect is in essence like, for example, if you had your sun opposite Pluto or your moon conjunct Saturn, the only one you have is sun conjunct Pluto. They literally just say that. I meant to say sun square Pluto, but like sun conjunct Pluto, it can be difficult, but you know, it's a conjunction. It's not. It's kind of, yeah. It's not necessarily so like hard. It just means like you have to kind of like struggle like with like defining what power is for you. You know, and some people that have this, like, they can like power trip. Um, but it's all about like finding the power within, and they can power trip, or they can like seek too much the external for their source of power. So it's very important to kind of go within with that one. um and yeah, like, I think you're a natural healer, whether, you know, that's something you do for work or just, you know, to the people around you. You have this really healing effect. I think that there's lots of like family karma that you're here to heal for sure. Definitely 1000% moon on the IC. You know, you're very, very connected to your mother, I would imagine. You know, and your moon has no aspects besides the beautiful, beautiful trine with the sun. So typically what that means is that the mom and the dad have a good relationship, in the sense that like their worldviews align, um, while someone like me who has a square, a 90-degree angle, or my brother who has an opposition. Those like the two hard ones, 180 and 90. We both, our parents are divorced, obviously, and we both have that in our chart. So, and I see it with countless clients. But it's sometimes kind of tricky. Sometimes the parents are still together, but they just are so fucking different, So it's a little tricky one there. What else? Yeah, so just like someone, you're definitely someone who can heal through, heal people emotionally. People come to you in times of distress, and you just have this natural thing where you can put people at ease, put people at ease, and it's really cool. It's really, really cool, my friend. Um, what age on this subject? Um, Oh yeah, I was gonna continue reading the list to see how many you had in a row, the ones I listed in my post. The next one was a lot of Pisces or 12th house personal planets. Boom. That's 3 in a row. I'm gonna tag Payal in this and tell her doing your husband's. Or the first. Okay. So yeah, the next one I wrote is so moon. No. Okay. A lot of 12th house planets. What you have? You have Sun, Mercury, Mars. These are all personal planets in 12th. So I wrote here, it's not a secret that Pisces is a sign that rules dreams, imagination, psychic abilities, and so much more. You can be sure that if you have a lot of Pisces placement or 12th house placements, you will be psychic and cap fucking locks. It is really for a lot of the same reasons as I mentioned above. The boundaries between you and the rest of existence are thinned. You may have prophetic dreams. The Pisces people have to watch out for escapism and cap locks and non acceptance of reality. They are so used to the lofty spiritual realms, like in between lives or whatever you want to think, that they may try to recreate this for themselves on on Earth, either through drugs/alcohol or something similar, or just living in a dream world and not moving forward in life/accepting their unique traits. So then the next one I said was Moon/Neptune aspect in the ascendant. I don't think you have this. You do not. Where is Neptune? Second house. Conjunct Venus. Oh my god, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, and then oh my god, like this is like so like having and Saturn of course is kind of fucking up a little bit, but like Venus conjunct Neptune is just like the ultimate like creative, like where you can blend like art and creativity with imagination and inspiration. It's like it's very, very sensitive also in kind of others. And it's also another one that can create delusions and love affairs, like rose-colored glasses. Um, and just in general, but super like artistically talented. There can also be like this proneness to nervous tension, I must say too. But yeah, so you didn't have that one. Mercury conjunct Uranus. No, but like literally this is just part one, and that was only a few. Then it's funny you had the first three. Like damn. Hold on one second. One second, I need to look something up. seconds. Just check. I have to check this. I'm so sorry. I just got. Give me like literally 20 more seconds. Okay. All right. Anyways. Okay, it's not good. One second. One second. One second. One second. Well, halftime break. I just have to send this to my mom. It's like kind of like businessy stuff. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So sometimes it's good to just take a pause. Anyways, so yeah, overall, like just yeah, the Pisces thing, use it to your advantage. Um, you can see through the bullshit, trust your intuition, know that you're right all the fucking time. You're a healer, you have a natural gift for that. Now, um, so okay, so in terms of love, like, or let's talk about your ascendant. Your ascendant. So okay, so Sag rising, it means that your ruling planet, because the ruling planet of the chart is a chart that is the planet that rules the ascendant. So it's Jupiter. So Jupiter is all about expansion, right? It's all about expansion. Um, like it's just basically like growth in general, like spiritual, philosophical, and just any kind of growth. It's very lucky, very benefic. So Sag risings, they tend to like experience life, externally. They come off as very adventurous and open-minded, um, you know, willing to kind of dive into philosophy and deeper kind of conversations. My dad's a Sag rising, and he has traveled a ton in his life. Like he went through like a phase, where he just was going everywhere. Um, so yeah. Um, say, um, so Jupiter being that it's in your eighth house, it just makes that eighth house even more powerful, that intuition and everything I talked about already, even more powerful. Um, so that's really, really cool stuff. Um, sorry, 1 second again. I'm so sorry. I was a Virgo, so it's like Virgos are very, very just orderly, and like I kind of have to be on this like right now, but this is the last text I'm telling him. I'm literally in the middle of the reading. Like, stop. Like, I need, like, please later. Please, mom. Okay. So yeah, basically that's kind of the Sag Moon mantra. So yeah, you'll learn a lot from your relationships. Even like when it comes to like sexuality, like Jupiter in eighth house can open up a lot of doors like to that, and to like experiencing kind of like I'm talking about like tantra, like that kind of, like there can be like that. But just overall, the main thing is just like, like it's very, very good for like also for like benefiting. So if you were like, let's say you were like had a job, like you in finance or something, like, or where you relied on other people's resources, like Jupiter in eighth house is like amazing for like inheritances and just like getting really, really lucky with handling other people's resources, or like benefiting from other people's resources, basically, whether it's physical with money, spiritual, like having like someone in your life who's like your wife, who can really like, who is very spiritual, and who can kind of, I don't even know how spiritual you are, but like, who definitely can like influence you in a positive way. So that's really, really cool. And also I think eighth house, like it is also, a romantic one. So it makes when it's also kind of speaking to like, luck with intimacy with your soul partner, kind of like how how Pale has hers in the seventh house. Um, so just love in general, descendant in Gemini, you'll definitely like need to have like the communication lockdown relationship, like a real like there has to be that like intellectual connection. Um, probably like the ability to really like talk a good amount with the partner. Then also, having Venus, like I said, it's so important. Most important thing is A, that the person's spiritual, in the sense that like they're open-minded, and that they can listen to you, and when you go, because like Pisces moon can go through like lots of ups and downs, mood swings and stuff. So it's very important to have someone who and like I said, there's like you have like no bad aspects. So like your sun's trine Jupiter, your Mercury's trine Jupiter, like even the only like what some would call a bad aspect is Venus opposite Jupiter, but that's the only opposition that is like a good opposition in astrology, because it's like two benefic planets. So it's like very good for money to have Venus in the second house and Jupiter in the eighth house. So it's kind of like a financial guardian angel in a sense. Now with that said, though, Saturn presence in the second can make money, like it can make one come from like, a lot of times second house Saturn people, didn't Pael have a second house Saturn? Am I tripping, or did she, or is that someone else? I think she does. They can come from like kind of like more like yeah, just like modest backgrounds, where they weren't rich. It's not necessarily poor, but where they really had to kind of like work hard to get to like where they've gotten in life. And it gets way easier after like age 30. Saturn turning 29 and a half, 30. And you're born literally like 4 months before me. So you're probably like in a similar position to me right now, where you're just sitting comfy. Like you've integrated the Saturn return. Where's your Saturn? It's at 10. So mine's at 23 cap. Yours at 10 cap. So yours happened, yeah, or mine. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of that. And then also like with love, having Venus conjunct Uranus, I think like there's a massive need, especially with having a Pisces moon. Well, okay, I said the part about like needing someone who can like help you and like go through those like transformations with you, or like at least understand that that's a big thing for you. Is like the death rebirth transformation, shedding old skin, and who can help you spiritually, with information, like with like spiritual information. But then also, like the thing with Pisces moons, they need to be with a partner that 100% loves them, that they 100% will not be deceived by, which you have. Because Pisces moon, like an unlucky Pisces moon would marry someone that would be like a gold digger, like you see what I'm saying? It's Like but like they do have such good intuition. So it's like what the thing with Pisces moon is like, it's like what lies, the question I'm asking you is like, what lies are you telling yourself about you and about the world? Because but the thing about that's so good about having Scorpio is that the Scorpio is what just cuts through everything. So like even if that did exist, the Scorpio part of you would like just like be like, fuck that. Just burn through it, just cut right through it like a sword. Right, time wise. Okay. So yeah, basically, um, also, with the North Node in Aquarius, like someone and also having, your Venus conjunct Uranus, like you could be someone who's very entrepreneurial and who deals like you might make like money like in technology, like with technology or some kind of invention. You might be like very inventive. So that's really, really great. And also just like I said, super creative. You can have very like original money making schemes. But yeah, like from love, like Venus conjunct Uranus, so it's in Capricorn. So this is like a kind of interesting one. So Venus in Capricorn alone, um, it creates, and it's conjunct also Saturn and Neptune. So, but like it's mostly conjunct Uranus. So Venus in Capricorn alone, it makes one really just want to have like the kind of traditional relationship, like just like really, really that they really, really value dependability, consistency, all that kind of stuff, right? The fact that it's conjunct Uranus, it makes you really, really value also someone who's different, someone who's just their own person, someone who's not a fucking clone, right? Who helps you go towards your North Node, which is all about individuality and humanitarianism and really finding yourself and not just being a clone, like being your own person, finding your own voice. So that's shown there in the love stuff, or the love part of your chart. And then Saturn, which is also conjunct Venus in Capricorn, that just adds to the Capricornian nature of it. It can create someone who can have very long lasting and strong bonds. Like there's a strong sense of duty. Very conservative when picking love partners. So yeah. Um, and then with Neptune, it's like just really sensitive and kind to others. Once again, like I already kind of talked about, right? Like the artistic talent. Um, but yeah, like, I already talked about this one. I forgot, like the whole delusions and love affairs. But yeah, with the Uranus opposition, what else can I say? It can make one like, yeah, be quite emotional, very excitable, um, very sensual personality, and someone who can like be like if you were an artist, like I would highly encourage you to like, if you don't already like get into some form of art, because like you are made for that. So what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, so yeah, it's like Venus and Capricorn a lot of like just like yeah, overall with Saturn there, it's like another big part of it is like you are building like it's like the desire to really truly build something of value, like in respect to the relationship, right? But then also have like a lot of like of it helping you towards your purpose. Moon on the IC, fourth house moon just makes someone more of a homebody, like who just really loves being around, family and just like likes the environment of their home. They want their home to be like a comfy kind of environment that they like, coming back to if they go to work or if they work from there, like they just love to kind of to just be, like in that kind of support system of family love and home. And also it means that your childhood definitely like played like a massive role on you emotionally. Like there's a huge emotional, like your childhood would have played like a massive emotional role to you. Um, Aside from that, let's see if I'm missing anything. Midheaven and Virgo, so there's a sense of duty. in respect to like your profession, your career, your dharma. You really, it's ruled by Mercury in Scorpio in 12th house. So yeah, like really wanting to like kind of delve deep into something through your work. Um, Also, it's conjunct the nebula, which is a fixed star. Let's get the fixed stars open. Before that, I didn't talk about a few things. So that's like about like truth seeking. So really like really wanting to find the truth, the undercover. You feel like like a detective or something. So then Juno represents like the perfect partner, perfect partnership. Someone who's very like oriented towards humanitarianism and making the world a better place and has similar ideals and long-term goals as you, but then also someone who I'm pretending like I don't know your wife, but someone who just like like where there's lots of fairness, balance, beauty, and chillness in peace in the relationship. Like you would not do well with like because you're such a sponge for energy with your your 12, like you're the biggest sponge of energy. Like you are so affected. So it's like if there's one thing you take from this, I hope there's more than one. Like you need to create boundaries with people who like you need to feel into like how, like I said this earlier, I don't know if I could finish the statement. Like you're around someone, be around them, then leave them. Like if you feel, I didn't finish this one. If you feel like they're draining your energy or something like that, and then just like meditate and feel how you feel, and then notice the difference once you return back to your normal state, and that will shock. You'll be like, wow. And that's how you can like really learn about like the impact that the people and environments are having. So it's very important to like also breath work when you have no air in your chart. Getting hiking and doing breath work is super important. Also, just like really being willing to hear different people's perspectives, and how and trying to like even though you might hate it, like I do too. Just like pushing yourself to have like kind of not small talk, but just like more conversations with more people is very important, like opening up in that sense, which is what your north node's asking you. And you're not really getting much help because your north node's the only, it's in air and you have nothing else in air. So it's kind of like, it's like, all right, figure it out, dude. We're gonna make you look super introspective and deep. But now you have to figure out how to be like, more social and group oriented. Figure it out. So okay. Last two things. So yeah, Mars in Scorpio. I didn't really touch on that. So 12th house Mars, definitely can be someone who can self-sabotage through their actions. So you have to watch out for that. Although it does have a nice sextile with Uranus. Um, but yeah, overall, like I talked about Mars and Scorpio, how it's just like it's indignity, it's like a very strong placement, and it just gives someone the superpower to just like it's just one of the best ones, right? It's just like a placement like sexuality is becomes something very sacred and special. um and yeah, just like I what I love about that placement is that, like I said before, it's the built-in lie detector. And like literally Mars and Scorpio are like I don't care how nice they are, like you do not want them as your opponents at all. Like they are the last person you want as your opponent. Trust me. Um, I've never actually had, for the record, like a Mars and Scorpio. I think, I mean, I don't really have opponents, but yeah, like they when they want to, they can just fucking say the thing, especially with your Jupiter and you and Payal both have this. That's super interesting. In her chart, I told her about this too. You guys both have this ability, like, and you guys probably don't do it because you're both sweet, empathetic people. But if you wanted to, you guys know exactly. You guys would be like the team, the squad of just wrecking souls. Like you guys both have these things in your chart where you guys know exactly what to say to just fuck someone on a psychological level. So yeah, with that said, that goes back to your Black Moon Lilith, which is basically like kind of like you at your lowest vibe, and we both have the same one. It's in Scorpio. So basically, the way I would say it, it's like it's not a planet. It's just like you when you're at your lowest vibration, like what you have to watch out for. Definitely you need to protect yourself spiritually, 12th house. Um, And people can be jealous of your spirituality, or of your like intuition, or of like, just like like the unseen things like that you're a master of. Um, and yeah, like you have to watch out for exactly what I just said. When you're in a low vibe, like really think things through. Don't just say shit the other day, like I was like, it was the full moon, I was a little bit triggered, and I literally had like 3 or 4, I forget the number, like texts I was about to send. They weren't like, they were very logical, but like I'm happy I didn't send any of them. I just like saved them all because I just was like, you're in your black and Lilith right now. You're very like vengeful. You're very like spiteful. Um, you're very very intense, and that's the thing about you, is you're very intense, and some people just can't handle that shit. So that's another thing with the partnership, is you need someone who can handle the intensity and really truly understand it. I know you're gonna like, me and you would be friends because your freaking moon. My sun is 28 degrees Pisces. Your moon's 25 degrees Pisces. That's crazy. Um, I mean, it's not uncommon, and even Payal has some conjunctions with some of my planets. I think it's from I forget. Her Mars and my sun, and then like her Pluto, I forget. So some of my ascendant. Um, so yeah. And yeah, also like watching out for escapism. Like when things get too hard, like it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol, just like not dealing with the emotions. That's like a big thing to watch out for. So yeah, besides that, Uranus in the second house can make money go up and down. So sometimes people who have that can be like quite like can be like actually minimalists. Um, and the key is like not link everything to monetary values, but to link things to spiritual values you find within yourself. And Venus in the second house in Capricorn, extremely good for money and just like probably liking nice possessions, nice things. And then can't I already talked about Saturn there. Neptune there can create a sense of fogginess around your sense of self, and can kind of fuck up, like not fuck up, but just make self-esteem difficult, which I've already said like a lot of times in your chart. Self-image and self-esteem can be clouded, so it's like really important to like dive deep into yourself to really see who you are. In spirituality, occult, esoteric, that's one of the best ways to know. And just like even another way is just through your own creativity, through your own creativity, through like your own creative risks you take, like just, and remembering that's not about like if 10 people see it, if 100,000 people see it. It's just about if it makes you happy, if it helps you understand yourself better. Okay, so let's log in a long ass fucking reading. So let's see if I see anything else here with fixed stars. Okay. Wow. Is that Cupido? So you and Payal both have Cupido in your chart, which is like very flirty. It's a very like, so she has it rising, you have it on your sun. And here, I'll show my face for kind of the end of this. I need to get like a cushion. One sec. Put my computer on. Okay. Oh, the light's kind of fucking shit up. There, is that better? Okay. So basically, like, so Cupido is an asteroid, right? And it's very seductive. Um, and when it's on your sun, it's just interesting that you guys both have this random one like conjunct, like one of your big three. I just find that very very interesting. Um, yeah, it just adds like a lot of charm, allure, attractiveness. Um, especially like with the 2 ones you guys have, basically, right? Those are like the really ultimate ones. You know, like they're like in romance, they're not afraid to like tell someone how they feel romantically. like very straight up in that kind of way. So yeah, very friendly and just really confident when it comes to love, you know, like knowing what they want and going towards it. Yeah. So besides that, let's see. 1707, 19. That's not close enough for me. Oh damn. Yeah. Wait, hold up. Is there two A's? Oh yeah. Okay, so let's go to my fixed star list. Two Sag. So Deshuba, you have is that well like 239? Yeah, so it's right on there. So Deshuba rising, what the fuck is Deshuba? I don't know. All I know is that Julian Assange has it rising. So it doesn't really give that much information about it. It can make one kind of doubtful. Um, really good for research, especially with like secret and hidden things, like or things of secret and hidden nature, which goes along with everything we're saying. For this to be, however, further influence of the sign Scorpio and planets Mercury and Uranus have also be present. Yeah, you have that. A lot of it. Okay. Yeah, lots of mental capabilities. Yeah, so that's about as much as I'm gonna talk about that one because it's not like a huge one. Midheaven, the nebula, I already talked about it. But one second. So it can bring fame, and be very good for health on the midheaven also. But like I'm talking about like the old like Babylonian fucking you can't find this shit anywhere type answer I had. Okay, looking else. What else? Do we have any with the moon at 25 Pisces? I don't believe so. Hamal is you're far enough away from Hamal. Thank God for that. I mean, it's not like so bad, but like you know, it's not the best. I believe there's no other big ones at 25 Pisces, right? Or Markov, not Hamal, excuse me. Yeah, and you're out of Markov range. Um, for Capricorn. I don't know if that's even range. No. So let's see, descendant to gem. To gem. What's up with to gem? Nothing. Okay, moving forward. Jupiter at 10, Cancer, and then lots of Scorpio ones. So let's look at and 3 Scorpio, 10 Cancer, 3 Scorpio. Alhena is conjunct Jupiter, and it's very good for like social advancement and success, and gives a philosophical mind. And it can be ostentatious, which I just looked up, which is like kind of like showing off wealth kind of shit. As they said, an example would be like a gold toilet. I don't know if I can know. So, okay. 3, 15, 16, 17. So 3, 15, 16, 17. Let's see if we see anything as we finish up this beautiful reading. 15. So which one? There's 2 at 3, 320, 334. So Zubin El Ganubi is actually at 15, which is where your Pluto is, and your Mercury's at 16. So it conjuncts both. Let's see if it has any information with Mercury. Crafty, revengeful, treacherous, quick mind. Okay. And then with Pluto, is there anything? No. And let's see if there's anything on this one with Mars. Princeps, I've never heard of it. Probably not. And which one's closer? Ooh, so there is something with this one. So this one is 309, 334, and wait, did my camera just switch off? It did totally, huh? Come on. Okay, so yeah, Mars, so 334, 348 versus 3. Okay, so Sirma is gonna have more. Let's see, but there's no explanation, so we'll have to go with Perseps. So it says about Perseps. This is a very minor one, by the way. This planet distorts the sexuality of the person. They can be oversexed or undersexed depending on what planet aspects this point. Which I don't think you had no bad aspects to your Mars. They're all positive. This can sometimes be quite destructive as they are very much obsessed with sex for the sake of sex. These people, like, can risk injuries, have to be careful. Okay. It says it brings like a obsession with the genital area. No. Remember, these fixed stars are like very like minor, like these ones. Like you don't have any of like the major fixed stars. These are like more minor ones. It affects both men and women, and their obsession would bring difficulties with others who are close to them. This is a karmic position, and for in a prior life, they abuse others, and now they're abusing themselves. So like a masturbation freak, is that what it's trying to say? But like, wait, hold up. It has to be within 030, and it's at 3.09. So, honestly, you're like literally like just inside the orb, but like barely. So like I would not really, I don't know like if that one's, sorry, Fedix, I just throw it on you. I don't know if that one's gonna resonate at all. But it's pretty funny to just, read that. Like I'm like, what the fuck? You always see different stuff. Last thing I'll just scan real quick is these. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. Very long reading. I try to stay at an hour, but I never fucking get there. So yeah, let me know. I hope to see you in the follow-up with Payal. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Later, man.